people most likely have seen this ancient wisdom, the dark and the bright and the bright and the dark, yin yang. And when I discovered, I knew it, but when I discovered how easy it used to pretty much everything, it's how we interact with ourselves, it's how our thoughts travel. Some of the thoughts travel to the bright side, but sometimes step into the dark side. And at the same time, we are sometimes finding ourselves into the darkness, and then we are challenging ourselves and we are stopping ourselves. And I would say if we have more conscious awareness, just thought after thought, and make an observation and say, do I want this thought? Is it really helping me? Sometimes it might be a temporarily just stopping maybe to do some even more crazier stuff. But then, yes, I would recommend, well, basic things. Yeah, paying attention to what are the thoughts. And one awareness that people lack is they think they are creating thoughts. Actually, they just arrive. And then it's either you choose it or not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I heard like the thoughts just come from nowhere, kind of whatever.
Well, that's our human experience. If we decompose the human body, well, we have brain and we have neurons, and neurons are electrochemical interactions. And those operate, most of them beyond our conscious choice. And we then label that, oh, do I want coffee or tea? Oh, it seems like a tea is a good idea. But maybe that just was neural network saying that, well, you already have too much coffee or something like that.
So you think that plays a part, like maybe free will? Like, do we have free will? Do we not have free will? Is like something, some giant computer in the sky somewhere, is that kind of stuff?
That free will question, we recently discussed it with another scientist, actually, just by the way, playing pickleball. And then we just introduced to each other, and we just immediately went to say that if we really look down to our biology, well, my perspective would be quite deterministic. So the neural firing has independent from what I think, generally speaking, or if I would interpret that later as my thinking. But these processes happen. But then with logical, neurological, operational system, I have the perception of free will. Because in Apple, I could take a coffee or I could take a tea. I did choose. So I think it's a kind of interplay. And most importantly is if we don't over stress about that, but just play with the rules of the game.
So changing the subject real fast. So for my short time in Vietnam, it seemed like everyone here loves pickleball. Like, why do you think Vietnam became such a pickleball mecca? It's crazy to me.
It's so crazy that the department head, the business and innovation department where I work, he lost his field for playing tennis because it was taken over by the pickleball. And he was like, what? And I say, well, it's a free market. It's a demand supply, and pickleball is so easy to play, and so many people can do it. It's just a huge wave, and people see it as an opportunity. And Vietnam is a huge market, so many million people, and everybody tries to leverage that. And when we look around here in Tao Dien and District 2, I think there are like a new pickleball court every week, and there are so many.
Easily.
Yeah.
So back to the negative thoughts. I do think there's a positive about that. I think sometimes you can use negative thoughts as motivation to make yourself get better sometimes. But like, how do you balance that with like making sure that negative thought doesn't destroy you versus like helping you like do good things?
Here it is. Well, we again need kind of enough degree of awareness what's going on. And I sometimes label also on my YouTube channel when I speak about motivation. I sometimes say controversial things, and I think that wakes up people and their minds and pay attention. And I say motivation is a lie. Motivation is a lie that we tend societally, individually, collectively become the barrier against our nature. Because our nature tells us some always that we need to follow the nature, but the nature is smart enough to empower and enable us to live, and the DNA for us to recreate and evolve. At the same time, let's take an example. So waking up early in the morning and going out for a run might seem challenging. Motivational, different ways, saying, okay, if I don't do that, I will have an ice cream, or if I some kind of a pleasure. But those are the tricks. What the recipe for success is whether you see value and relevance and benefit for yourself in your life. So that's the direct way of how you can tie it to who you want to become. And if you have answers to those questions and you find that new behavior or the new way of living beneficial, meaningful, relevant, that typically use these words, then you don't need to motivate yourself. It's a strong connection to yourself and your future self. And then you just go.
So let's say someone like they're like 35 years old, they pretty much been average all their life, right? Non-performer, not really achieving any goals, like basic 9 to 5 job. Can that person turn a switch on and become like a super performer, like instantly? Like, how does that work?
That's using the formula of swapping thoughts. We can, and that's again, it's how we have evolved so far as a society, but we also, as a scientists, push the boundary, and we find ways how we can be more efficiently helping ourselves to improve our performance. So I speak about hyper performance, and people are wondering, what's that? Because performance is the basic measurement for everything: individuals, musicians, athletes, teams, organizations, key performance indicators.